Hello guys, welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can make an advanced docking hatch. So we're gonna need one XOR component, one signal check component, one lever, and 5 wires. Any other wire is gonna be optional depending on how many things you want to wire. So let's first place the components. And now we want to wire the components. But first, we need to access the docking hatch, but as you can see, we are not able to access the docking hatch. But there is multiple ways you can access the docking hatch. One would be to be docked to an outpost or a shuttle or anything that you can dock to. Two would be to destroy the hatch or use a crowbar to force it open so you can interact with the docking hatch. Three would be to go outside the sub and interact with the docking hatch from outside. In this example, we will be doing number 3, going outside the sub and interacting with the docking hatch. Once we interact with the docking hatch, we want to remove the wires that we see in sit state and state out. And then we're going to put a wire into toggle state and go back into the sub. Now we're going to go to the terminal and put the wire into toggle docking and remove any other wire. And then we're gonna go out again and put a wire into the docking hatch state out. And then we're gonna go back to the sub. Now we're going to be connecting that wire into the XOR component in signal 1. And then the signal out is going to be going into the set state of the custom hatch. Also here we're going to be removing any wires that we can. It's okay if you can't remove some wires from the docking hatch or the custom hatch. Just remove any that you can. Now we're gonna go back to the XOR component and we're going to put the signal 2 into the signal out of the lever. Also, the XOR component will have an output of 1 and a false output of 0. We will also put a wire into signal out of the lever into the signal in of the signal check component. And the signal check output is going to be 0. As for the false output, it will be nothing. The target signal will be 1. And now the docking hatch is functional. So I brought some extra wires to demonstrate what you can do with this. We're going to wire the signal out of the signal check component into some doors. And it's going to be into the set state of the door. And now, whenever we press the lever, the hatch will open and it will flood the submarine. Also, the doors will not open because of the signal check component. So now you might be asking, for what would you use this? There's multiple things you can use it for. Let's say you want to descend quicker. You want to go down as quick as possible. This will give you the ability to flood the sub intentionally so you descend faster. Also, whenever you're docked to something, the lever will work the opposite way. So whenever you dock to an outpost, for example, the docking hatch will be open, the hatch will be open. But if you interact with the lever, it will close the hatch, so it will work the opposite way. And this could be useful in case you don't want unwanted visitors. either from the outpost or maybe from another submarine. 2 would be if you're docked to another outpost or maybe another sub and you don't want the people to come from the other sub or maybe the people on your sub to go to the other sub. This might be helpful. 3 would be if some people came from a shuttle and you'd like to interrogate them and maybe see if you want them to be on the sub or not. And if not, maybe just flood them. Now for the explanation. This basically works like a normal docking hatch. But once you press the lever, the docking hatch becomes like a normal airlock that you can go out from. And because we're using an XOR component, whenever there's two signals coming through the XOR component, the XOR component will output a false output of 0. And those two signals will be the docking hatch state out and also the lever signal out. So whenever the lever is up, the docking hatch will function normally. But if the lever is down, the docking hatch will open. And that's about it. Have fun.